Hey, good morning, friends. This is Ahmed Mustafa, your paramedic friend in Northeast Quadrant Advanced Life Support in Northern Monroe County in upstate New York. Hey, I wanted to wish you a happy Wednesday as we are in the middle of week 4 of the COVID lockdown in upstate New York and in Monroe County. I also wanted to talk to you about a question that I had yesterday and some concerns we've recently seen on calls with patients. And that is, Ahmed, is it really safe to be calling an ambulance these days to go to the hospital? Well, let me tell you, it is as safe today as it has always been, and let me walk you through exactly what that means. So when we start our shifts as paramedics or EMTs, at least in our agency, and I think it's been suggested throughout all the agencies in New York and maybe beyond, is we actually screen each other as we come through the door. So the first thing we do is we take a temperature, we look for any signs or symptoms. Have you had a cough? Is anything else not feeling right? There's kind of a prescribed list of things we evaluate. We actually log the temperature coming in. If you're staying for more than 8 hours, we log it at midday, and then we log it when you exit. And the idea is to make sure that you are actually well enough to treat patients. So we start with that. The next thing that we do is we properly disinfect our ambulances, regardless of whether they went anywhere or not, and we do it for every ambulance, every shift. So we go through, and what I mean by disinfect, I don't mean, hey, we just kind of spray things over and wipe down the cabinets. We open cabinets, we spray disinfectant through everything. We wipe down any surface that a patient may have had contact with, including the gurney, all the straps. We change the bedding. We wipe down the air vents. We make sure the back of the patient compartment ventilation is working properly. We wipe down the blood pressure cuffs, stethoscopes, anything that at some point may, in the future or in the recent past, have come into contact with the patient. Even if the ambulance hasn't gone anywhere, we're trying to just get into the routine. Once that's done, we also look at the paramedic fly cars. So the paramedic fly cars, though we don't transport patients, we certainly have our paramedics in there. And so we wipe down the EKG machine, all the cables, the blood pressure cuff. We check all the straps on the med bags and everything else that at some point could have been sitting on a patient's floor. After that's done, we are ready to take calls. And as you have heard in the recent past, for every call we come to see a patient these days, we've changed our response protocol a little bit. So unlike the old days where 2 EMTs or a paramedic would walk in and we kind of evaluate you, what we're doing now is we're sending one person in and we're doing a quick look. What are your signs and symptoms? What is your chief complaint? What's your recent medical history? That helps us determine what is the proper personal protective equipment we should be wearing. So do we need an N95 mask or will a surgical mask work? If you don't have any symptoms or signs that would indicate COVID or any history that would indicate COVID, or if we're not going to do any respiratory aerosolization treatments, so intubation, giving you breathing medicines, things like that, then a surgical mask is what we're being told is perfect to wear today. If we need to do some more advanced procedures, we'll don our fitted N95 masks. In any case, we'll always have our goggles on, we will always have our gloves on. And in certain situations, again, depending on the case, we may put on gowns to cover our clothing. Again, it depends on the circumstance. As we transport you, if appropriate, we will put a mask on you. If you need oxygen, we'll give you oxygen. At the end of the call, we will again disinfect the ambulance in 2 stages. We will do a preliminary disinfection right at the hospital. So we do a quick wipe down of everything the patient came in contact with, everything the crew touched. We change our gloves. We wipe down all the surfaces inside. We then take that ambulance back to our base out of service. So we've got extra ambulances that are cleaned and prepped to take the next call. We take that one back and we disinfect it again. And we let it sit for at least 3 hours before we take another call. And so we're fortunate in our area, in our agency at least, that we've got extra ambulances. And so we have a rotation. Out of the 5, 2 are always on duty and the other 3 are available for calls while the other ones are being decontaminated. So I hope this helps you understand that today, as before, it is absolutely safe to go to the hospital if you need in an ambulance with EMS services, whether you're in upstate New York or throughout New York State, or my guess is throughout the United States. So be well, be safe, stay home, wear your mask if you need to go out, and we'll get through this together. Have a great day.